Hello friends, Teo here. Today I want to talk a little bit about the latest entry in the Shepherd's Crossing series and how we seem to have almost gotten an English version of Shepherd's Crossing 3. I tried to make a short about this, but I couldn't condense it enough, so I'm going to make a more detailed video instead. If you're unfamiliar with the series, in the year 2003, developer Success Corp made quite a unique entry into the farming game genre well before the Stardew Valley boom, called Hitsujimura, or Welcome to Sheep Village, which was localized into Shepherd's Crossing by Valcon Games. The game released on the PS2 and was a turn-based strategy simulation game that heavily focused on resource management and interestingly operated around a bartering system rather than money. The game also featured a unique turn-based battle system in which the player hunted wild animals not only to gain items but also to prevent attacks from wild animals on the farm. Even today, there's nothing quite like it in the genre. The original game saw decent success in Japan and even got ported to the PSP and Mixed Mobile several years later, with enhancements and additional features, and even more recently, in 2019, got another slightly enhanced port on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Steam. The game got an official sequel in 2008 with the release of Rakuen Seikatsu Hitsujimura DS, or Box Gardening Life Sheep Village DS, which also got an English release called Shepherd's Crossing 2 thanks to Graffiti Entertainment. This game took a few core concepts from the first game and experimented with a new stamina time system to create an all-new game, which also featured new mechanics for the title like a money system, crafting and cooking systems, crop field quality system, and importantly to a lot of genre fanatics, a marriage system. 4 years later, in 2012, developer Success Corp started a live service free-to-play browser game sequel in the series, Rakuen Seikatsu Hitsujimura, marking the third main entry into the series. The game used the turn-based system from the original game on top of a limited stamina system to encourage players to spend on microtransactions to continue playing when they ran out. Thankfully, the game was pretty generous with regeneration potions, and stamina regenerated fairly quickly. And when it was regenerating, you could also play with the adventure feature, where you took dogs and other animals on hunts while exploring islands to collect item drops and solve mysteries, which used its own separate stamina bar. The game was a hit and made the move to HTML5 and then got a mobile release in 2019, further increasing its popularity. The game is still going in 2025 with regular ongoing events and updates, and unfortunately, a heavier focus on gacha mechanics, which have drastically risen in popularity since the original release. Despite its popularity in Japan and dedicated but niche English-speaking fanbase calling it Shepherd Crossing Online, and despite that the first two games in the series got English releases and have garnered their own cult following, and despite the easy lucrative market of mobile gacha gaming, and despite the popularity boom of farming and cozy games since around the same time of the game's mobile release, this third major entry in the series never saw an English language release. However, recently, I stumbled upon a tiny YouTube channel called Game and Gamer that seems to be using an English translation of the game. The videos include tutorials and teasers with gameplay fully in English, even with a fully designed title logo calling the game Pastoral Life Shepherd's Crossing. It all seems to run on a 2020 build of the game, and in February 2021, it seems this tiny channel with fewer than 10 subscribers announced the game for an English language release and began to promote it thereafter. In one of the videos, it shows logging in through Duoku servers, so the game was probably handled by the Chinese publisher Duoku and only available by mobile, not browser. But other than this one little YouTube channel with hardly any views or followers, I can't find any information or news of this release from Success or Duoku or any kind of press or anything. Just this. So it's likely that the translation and promotion were started, but then shortly after scrapped, to the point where it didn't even generate one news article online or a single press release from either company. This YouTube channel might not even be the official method of these releases and could even be leaked videos that were never otherwise going to see the light of day. Maybe Success and Duoku had a falling out, or maybe Duoku couldn't keep up on the cost of translation, since there is indeed a lot of text in the game, with regular events introducing more and more text. Duoku does seem like a small company, and their last article about anything at all on their official website seems to be from 2019, so they could have just been severely underfunded for a game of this caliber. It could even be that this was some kind of illicit release and Success shut it down. We really can't know because there seems to be absolutely no information about this supposed release outside of this weird small YouTube channel. If anyone has any more information on this release, please let me know. I'd love to know more about the development of an English language version of the game and how far it came along, as well as why it was scrapped or even if it was official in the first place. In the few little videos available, there didn't seem to be any character interaction or story, nor any multiplayer features being shown, so it might be that the game was going to be built again from the start and operate on its own new English language dedicated servers, which would have been super awesome. Maybe an alpha or beta version of the translated game was actually released even, but I can't find any information or evidence of that though. Either way, spam tag Success Corp on X demanding they release an English language version of this game because I know fans would love to play it, and it seems they may already have a head start if they can grab some of the localization assets and translations from Duoku. I played it for a while back when it was free on Yahoo Games with friends, and it was a ton of fun. And even though I've sworn off free-to-play and gacha games, I probably would get sucked back into this one easily. In fact, in the past, I've said that if the game did get an English language release, I'd probably no-life it with multiple accounts and the occasional drop of the credit card. So yeah, let's make it happen, farming fans. Shepherd's Crossing 3! If you do want to try out the game, the browser-based version can easily be played outside Japan, so I'll drop a link to the game in the video description. The mobile app can also be found in various ways. On Android, I recommend using QApp or TapTap, where the game is listed just as Shepherd's Crossing. Be warned though that the game does require a bit of Japanese reading comprehension, because to make much progress, you'll need to be able to read the objectives of quests, which are the core of the gameplay. A game screen translation software would probably be sufficient, though I haven't tried one myself. Also, if you want to talk about Shepherd's Crossing or Harvest Moon or other farming games, please come join my Discord where we do just that. I'm trying to revitalize it recently after it got quiet due to some life stuff going on. I'll put the link in the description as well. I'd love to see you there and have more Shepherd's Crossing friends. Maybe if there's a demand, I'll start playing this game again and we can start up a new endgame guild and do some raids together. Yes, there are raids. So yeah, if you know anything more of this English release, let me know, or just let me know your opinions of Shepherd's Crossing in the comments or on Discord. And until next time, have a good one and bye-bye.